Now we're ready for tables part 2. Got a couple more things we'd like to do. We've added tables, we've created borders, played around a little with the alignment. Now I'd like to add links. It's nice that when we go and I have a list of sites, I can actually just click on the name instead of having to search it out for myself. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to make a couple adjustments here. And I'm going to start with Google Docs. And notice I made a little bit of a change here. Google Docs has actually become Google Drive. But people still know it as Google Docs. I don't know too many people who would reference Google Drive yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to edit this, and I've already replaced the text, and I've added a couple little items here. So what you can see, I've adjusted things a little. I still have my cell aligned center, but now I'm adding my anchor and my href to Google Drive. So it's https://drive.google.com. And then I have target equals quote underscore blank quote. That will make sure that when the link is clicked on, it opens it in a new window. So that's an important one. Then the text I changed to Google Drive, and I closed my anchor and my cell. And I did a little rewording again, and I put previously Google Docs has evolved into, and then in the middle of the text I decided Google Drive I wanted to stand out more, so I put it in strong tags, and then the rest of the description remained the same. So now I've added in my table a link. So let's take a look at this one. I'm going to run this, launch it in Firefox, and now here we are, and I can see I have a link to Google Drive, and if I click on that, here we go, Google Drive. A little boring on the icon, but otherwise it's basically going to the same place Google Docs would have in the essence of it's doing everything. It's file sharing, it's being able to upload lots of different features here. So we're not going to get into Google Drive right now, but just to show you that the link worked. Now, coming back here, I've got one link. Well, of course, I want to add links for everything. So let me go back into my HTML, and I'm just going to add the links to all my different sites. All right, I've finished them now. So you notice I've just added the anchor and the href with the link for each one. So I've got them all in for every one of my sites that I'm going to list here as my tools. And I can go in and run this, launch again in Firefox. And there we are. And you can see I have all my different links set up. Now, that's pretty nice. But now I want to take this a step further. I'd like to have the logos for each of these sites also in my table. I think that would really add something to it, give it a little more kick. So let's go back and look at our HTML coding again. And now I want to add an image, and we're going to start with the Google Drive, which again, Google Drive didn't really have a nice looking icon. So I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to call this Google Docs again, because I know I have a logo for Google Docs that looks pretty cool, and I can add it in, and again people will reference it, and as soon as they click on the link, or before they click on the link, they'll notice that I've put in the text it was previously Google Docs, but it's evolved into Google Drive. So in a way it's leading people into the next evolution of the program. So let's go in here and we'll add the image. Okay, you've seen the images before, so what I did was add in an image to each element here. So I have image source equals, and my Google Docs image, I just have gdocs.jpg, and I've added a width. I want to make sure that I size this to an appropriate level that I think will fit. So I put width equals, and I gave it 75 pixels. So we're going to try that. And I also added a tag down here, BR, which is break. So it's going to have a line break, and it won't have the text appear right next to the image. Now, I thought about this and I added 75 pixels all the way down, but one thing I could do is vary this a little, and I can do 65, 55, 45. Now some of the images are different sizes to start, so this might not be, let's go higher on this one, let's go up to 85. And that way I can see different images at different sizes. So let me save that and run, check it out in Firefox. Alrighty, well that StumbleUpon definitely looks too big. And Facebook is a little small, Twitter, YouTube actually looks pretty good, but I think the Google Docs size is probably what I need. So I am going to go back to 75 for all of them. So let me go back over there and just set them all back to 75. Just take a second to get them all in here. Save again. Refresh this. There we go. Not too bad. The StumbleUpon still looks a little large. I think it's just because of the shape. But otherwise, I think the other ones are pretty clear now. So I think it's looking good. I've got my text. I've got my icon. I've got a link. But that's kind of redundant, especially for the Google Docs. I mean, it looks right there, Google Docs, but every one of them, YouTube's in there, Twitter, Facebook. The only one that's really not a duplicate is StumbleUpon. But I think the best thing here is maybe we'll get rid of the link and we'll make the image the link. Let's go back to our HTML coding. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my image, including the break, and I'm going to put it down here right after my anchor. And I'm just going to bring the break down to the next line. And let's take a look. Coding's all copied down. I need to get rid of the original line because I copied it instead of cutting it. And let's save that and take a look. Alright, now if you watch here, as I move my cursor over Google Docs, you can see a little pop-up on the screen at the bottom, and if I click on it, it is in fact an active link. So I've got that. Alright, now, but there's two things I'm not really liking, and one is I still have the text. So let's get rid of that text. Come back here and just literally get rid of Google Drive. Still need to close the anchor and the cell, so I'll save and we'll switch back and refresh. Alright, got rid of that ugly text. So we're looking good here. Alright, now I'm going to have to continue down and copy that for all of them. Let's go back and do some edits. I've gone ahead and added, or actually moved, my links so that the images are part of the link. I've gotten rid of all the text. So again, I have my href, there's my link, target blank to make sure, remember target equals quote underscore blank quote to make sure it opens in a new window. Then the image where we previously had just the link text, and then I close, I have my break, my anchor. Done that for all of my different links. So let's save it again. We'll run and go back, and here's how it looked, and let me refresh, and there we go. I've gotten rid of all those duplicate texts, and I have active links, and we can go in. Oops, looks like we have some bad links. I'm going to have to take a look at those. Let me go back in and take a look at the links. I believe I see the problem. when I copied my link, which I copied the text for the anchor over and over and just changed the name, I left out the colon after the HTTP. Let me add that into all of them. Okay, let's save that again. Run one more time. And there we go to YouTube. And Twitter. And let's try Facebook. And last but not least, Stumble Upon. And they're all working now. So, alright, so now we've created tables, borders, we've played with the alignment and even icons and generated new links. So go ahead, practice with these tools, and get to your blog assignment and your table assignment for the week.